Okay, I want gravy. We want gravy. We want gravy.
Hi, this is Lena Shea and I'm a mom, and I've had a lot of people ask me about making gravy. And gravy really isn't that hard if you know a few little tips. So I'll show you those right now. Let's get started. You want to start with some really good pan drippings of some kind. One key to having gravy that's not lumpy is to start with cold water, and I'm going to use a cup of cold water, and I'm adding 1/4 of a cup of flour, and then you can use a whisk or just use a fork. Stir this together so that it dissolves completely. I know some people say to put the flour directly into the hot pan and stir it in, but what happens is it sometimes will start to ball up and form lumps. And this way you are surefire not going to have any lumps if you dissolve your flour in the water. I add a teaspoon of salt. We're going to put in about 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. If you have somebody that's on a salt-restricted diet, you could use garlic powder or onion powder. Otherwise, it's pretty blah without any kind of salt. One important thing to remember is that you want your drippings from the pan to be equal to the amount of flour. So if you're going to use 1/4 of a cup of flour, you're going to want to use 1/4 of a cup of pan drippings and grease. Let's say you don't have that much. You could add a little bit of olive oil and stir that all up and use that. Or if you have too much, you need to pour off some of that grease because you don't want greasy gravy. And if you don't do that, if you have more grease than you do flour, that's going to separate and look really yucky. Then we're going to add this while we're stirring. Add that right into the hot grease carefully. Let's say you want to have it a little less thick than that. At this point, you can add, like if you've got some water that you've boiled your potatoes in, that would be a good place to add that. Or you can just add water, just a little at a time, until it looks like just the right amount of thickness. That's, to me, is looking just about right. And then anytime you're putting flour into a mixture where you're making a cream sauce, you're going to want to make that starchy taste of the flour go away. So make sure you cook it for at least a minute where it actually is bubbling. At this point, I'm going to want to taste this. And it does need salt. And so I'm adding some more. I know some people like a milk gravy for chicken, and the only difference is instead of using water to mix your flour into, use cold milk. I'll taste again. Better? Still needs a little bit more. I'm going to add some pepper this time. Very good. Now if you do it this way, with the cold water and the flour equal to the pan drippings, and remember to season it, you're going to have surefire, always good gravy. This is Lena Shea and Iowa Mom. Thanks for watching.